Good evening. My name is Cynthia Wright. Welcome to The Right Job Show. My guest this evening is Mark Lynch. Mark is an award-winning realtor in Southern New Hampshire with 7 years of real estate experience. His website is remarkablerealestatenh.com. He's been in the business development, outside sales, coaching and training world for 25 years. He's been a content creator, video podcasts and workshops, and he has a strong belief in competency, efficiency, and honesty. And networking, to Mark, is relationships without expectation. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
We were, I think it was about 12 years ago, you were on the original The Right Job Show in Chelmsford.
Right, no pun intended.
Here we are. Tell me about a little bit more what you think networking is and why it's so important.
Oh boy,
I know it's one of those questions.
Yeah,
right?
but regardless of whether you're looking for a job or just trying to grow your business or grow yourself, I think networking is life. Networking is a consistent part of myself that allows me to grow, expand on relationships. It's really about building relationships, like you said, without expectations. Mm-hmm. So when we first talked many years ago, we were helping job seekers, and it's not about asking, can you find me a job, but it's basically providing value, meeting people, and just using that experience just to get your face out there and just to get yourself comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, networking to me is simply talking to people that you would ordinarily talk to. For instance, family. Well, most of us talk to our family, neighbors, friends, colleagues. And I think that takes the fear factor out of it, because networking is weird. You're like, networking, have to be really outgoing and fun.
Right.
Not really.
No, it's not a type A personality type of thing. You don't have to be an extrovert. You can be an introvert. You can be quiet. You don't have to be loud.
You can be an observer.
You can be That's a great
Yeah.
comment. So an observer, be a fly on the wall.
Check things out.
Really, just the biggest thing to think about is just relax and consume knowledge. And through that, if you want to sit back, that's fine. But you get a chance to meet people
organically,
or organically, and
not just on screen or taking your resume and applying to a job, which to me is a black hole. A lot of those jobs that are on LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, what have you, are not live. They no longer exist.
Right. In fact, from a job standpoint, I don't know if it's the same as now, but I know that it used to be like this. The majority of real jobs, the jobs you want, are not advertised.
That's correct, 75%.
Okay, good.
It's a big number. So what I've always said is spend 75% of your time doing what works 75%, which is networking. What people are doing is the inverse. In other words, they're spending 75% of their time doing what works only 25%, which is sending literally hundreds of resumes to job posts on Indeed or Monster or LinkedIn, whatever, and wondering, why am I not getting anywhere?
Yeah, and it's not working.
It's not working, and I'm reading these LinkedIn messages, and I looked at one, and I had to respond. I just had to. She had 125 connections. She sent out 450 resumes. And I said, I feel for you, but have you tried networking? And, building up your LinkedIn network.
Right.
And I never heard back, but, she didn't want to hear that. They want to do what's easy.
Right. So, and that's another thing, just keep an open mind. And that's why it's good to be an observer. You might get a lot of opinions and advice. Take what works for you.
Obviously, makes you comfortable.
You might hear 10 different things. If you're consistently talking with people, networking, you're going to pick up so many little things that over time you can look back and say, I'm a collection of all these people that I've met in the past.
That's a great way of looking at it.
But you become your own personal brand or whatever you're doing. You become your own personal self, for lack of better words. So you can't copy what someone does, but by just exposing yourself to different industries, people, at different levels.
The cool thing about networking, which I really think is fun, is that you never know who's going to help you get that gig. In other words, it could be a friend of a friend. It could be someone you meet at a Christmas party.
Right, and you can't expect that. And that's the thing where...
No, it's very random.
Just pick a networking event. I'm going to go to a networking event, and I want right there, stop. It's
because that puts too much pressure on you.
Yeah, and then it might come across as, I feel kind of desperate. I need you for something, but just by showing up, you can just add value just by showing up.
You could help somebody else.
Right.
Inadvertently. But I have the best networking story I have is a friend of mine was a telecom engineer, met him at Lucent many years ago. His wife was a teacher. She was going to a Christmas party. She wanted him to go. He's like, no, I don't want to. I'm looking for a job. I don't want to go there. No one's going to help me. So, of course, he goes to the Christmas party. Her colleague's husband worked at a telecom company, and the rest is history. That's how he landed a job. That's a great story.
Right. So if you stay home, nothing's going to happen. If
you know for a fact, if you stay home and do nothing, nothing's going to happen.
That's okay. Like hey, sometimes I just want to stay home. It doesn't have to be a 24/7 thing, but take advantage of all kinds of different ways to network. Again, you don't have to go through this major sign-up process. You can be at Press Cafe and just have a quick conversation with the person next to you.
You never know, or the person in line
and
in the
maybe
market
have a card
basket,
with you or something, so you're not there soliciting, but you never know. Like, you know what? Let me just give you my card. And there's been so many times that most of my business, 70% of my business is through referrals
and networking.
And networking.
Mine too. Most of the jobs I've gotten as a contract recruiter has been through networking.
Right.
You know, somebody knew somebody who needed a contract recruiter. Same deal.
Right. So it's a matter of just, if you put in that effort, and you're seen, and you don't have to go to the same thing every single time. But
mix it up.
But just have that openness.
The thing is,
learn.
if you get out of the house,
will appreciate that.
If there's a person who's afraid and they get in their car and they go to a networking event, that's something. That's a big step.
Right.
I mean,
well, that's the thing. Like we had talked before. Like, you don't have to take a big bite and
baby steps.
And I'm going to go to this networking event. I'm going to have to probably say something about myself.
No.
A lot of us, I don't want to be called on. I don't want to make a speech.
No, people, like we talked about.
It's a fear.
People are afraid. I mean, the fear factor. I mean, how does a job seeker's fear factor affect their ability to network? I mean, people are afraid.
It could kill your efforts, because if the fear will keep you home, the fear will keep you complacent and comfortable, and I've learned over time, push your comfort zone a little bit.
Doesn't have to be a lot.
Not a lot. Even just bring a couple cards, talk to a few people, and it's just amazing. Like, over time, of just, because I talked to this person at this time and helped them in some way or another, then this event happened for me in real estate. Maybe I sell a 4-family property because I met someone here who had contacted John, who said, hey, I know this guy. And so again, it's not asking people like, hey, can you just go out there and help me and find me business? But I met with a lender today just for a coffee meeting to see how we can help each other.
Now, how did you meet this lender? Was it through a networking event?
Well, there was a networking event last night that I got an invite for, and just check your email. There's like meetup groups all the time.
There's meetups are a great way to network.
Meetups are wonderful.
And it's meetup.com, and there's meetups for everything under the sun.
Right. So sometimes when I feeling slow with business, like I'll go on that and look for things that interest me, investing or real estate groups or things like that. But last night there was a little seminar on some loan programs, but it was at the Muse bar in Manchester, New Hampshire, where we did a little painting, had a couple drinks.
I like that.
And then they did a little Zoom presentation.
It's not really networking. It's fun. It's fun networking.
I met 3 lenders, 2 home inspectors, 4 agents. People,
Now, was it well attended considering it was like 20 degrees out last week?
Yeah, there's about
that's
about 18 people there.
Wow, that's wonderful.
But you know what? I feel like I made like 3 or 4 friends, and the person who hosted it last night said, let's grab coffee tomorrow and just kind of extend this a little bit.
And she was open to that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we'll do it again.
Great.
Not tomorrow, but
a great relationship, a great beginning of a relationship.
Right.
So the fear factor, people are afraid of going into a strange situation. When I first started Meetup, the reason I started is I was working from home. So here I am in my house with my cats, who are very nice, but I wasn't in an office. I wasn't getting out there. I started Meetup, my first Meetup, margaritas in Nashua. I was so terrified. It was Cinco de Mayo, standing online to get in. I see another woman. She looked more terrified than me. It was the same Meetup.
No,
We're going,
I get it.
And like I had
Anything
to
new,
do
it makes
it.
you nervous.
But I did it. And I've been, doing Meetup for 10 years, 12 years now.
Yeah.
I could walk into any situation with a room full of strangers because of Meetup.
Right. And it doesn't make you overconfident and big-headed.
It makes you feel good about yourself because you did something.
There's authenticity to it.
And there's also, you sort of came out of your comfort zone. You took your fear, put it aside for a second, and did something.
Right.
And that's what you have to do.
Well, I didn't think I was going to know anybody last night. And I wasn't nervous, but again, you're walking into a group of 15, 20 people, like,
well, you still feel
don't
a little
know.
weird.
Yeah,
there's a little weirdness.
It's a little
but,
odd, but best advice I can give is just relax.
And practice makes perfect too.
Yeah, exactly.
The more you do it, like the more meetups I did, it was like nothing after a while.
Right. You don't have to be the loudmouth. You can again be an observer. Just take in information. Just get some business cards. Start slow, but over time, again, practice makes perfect. And
the more you do.
And for me, it's a lifelong thing because
me too.
Whatever I'm doing, like networking is life. It's a continuum that just keeps you top of mind. It keeps you.
Does it keep you on your A game?
Yeah, it definitely keeps you on your A game. Keeps you on your toes because you're challenging yourself. You know what? I could stay home all week and do nothing.
And then you'll get nothing.
Exactly.
Or you could stay home and start sending thousands of resumes to the black hole and get nothing and get nowhere.
And it's just a matter, and again, just a little bit at a time is okay.
A little bit. I think what people
baby steps.
The mistake is they don't take baby steps. They take big steps.
Right.
And that's scary. You start small, maybe with a meetup group of people you might know in your town. Then maybe you could go to something larger. But how does a job seeker or anyone successfully network? Would you think LinkedIn is a good place to start?
Definitely. LinkedIn, I have a lot of experience with. And
tell us about it. I mean, I have experienced. I mean, it's a great site.
If you can't be found, you don't exist. So
exactly.
And just people are going to Google you. You Google people. I know LinkedIn is very powerful when it comes to search engine optimization. So it gives you that one. And again, you know what? We're in a scrolling society. So the attention span years ago used to be like 14 seconds. Now it's like a millisecond.
Yeah.
So you have that one chance to make a first impression, and that's how I run my business too.
Real estate is hard. I mean, you're really competing with a lot of people.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of good agents out there too. But, and I'm one of them. In order to convey that, you only get one chance to kind of get your brand out there. So
LinkedIn,
like the profile, you want to just have it fully not maxed out, but optimized. Not just don't have a picture. Make it easy to contact you.
Yeah. In other words, a lot of job seekers, they have a lousy picture of them holding a fish. It's like from a fishing trip last summer.
Just know your environment.
Yeah, just
LinkedIn,
have a friend, take a photo with your phone. You can take great pictures. But
someone I told you 10 years ago, I think LinkedIn is for money and Facebook is for funny. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I agree, but LinkedIn, start building your network small. Start with friends, family, colleagues, neighbors, people you used to go to college with, and that's how you build it. Right. And you don't, it takes time.
You know what? This gives me goosebumps. What
It takes time, but it's very effective.
And a takeoff from that is start connecting with people that you want to get to know. For example, when I was looking for work, rather than say, I needed a job, someone help me, I was connected with career coaches, recruiters, and
That's great.
and the value I was offering was, I'm building my network. Maybe I can help you if someone in my network
This is a really good point.
helps fit a position.
Reciprocity,
Right,
where
so-
people are asking for help and refuse or do not want to give anything back.
Yeah, it's like the Gary Vaynerchuk book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. The pay it forward method.
Pay it forward.
Of basically give, ask.
So in the recruiting world, an informational interview is what you're talking about. You're asking somebody who's in a field you want to pursue for their time. Now, years back, I wanted to be a career coach. Work for like an outplacement company like Right Management or Lee Head Harrison. And I contacted somebody in that field. I figured I'd talk to him 15 minutes, right? I was in there for like an hour and I learned a lot.
All you have to do is ask.
Most people will not say no. I mean, a small percentage will, but I think most people genuinely want to help.
Very small percentage, because.
And then what you do is you say, hey, thanks for everything. What could I do to help you? Anything at all.
Right.
And if they say, well, maybe, just make sure that you sort of, adhere to that. In other words, keep your promise.
Right. You be careful what you promise. But I think the key thing is just to stay connected and just build those relationships and circle back.
People don't know how to start LinkedIn. In other words, it's like, oh my God, it's this big, this big thing. What I tell people is look at your resume, have it in one window, have your LinkedIn profile up, and your LinkedIn profile is a mirror of your resume on steroids. So in other words, you could add videos, you could add white papers, you could add you could add whatever you want. On a resume, you really can't do that. On LinkedIn, it's huge.
Right.
And
all the media that we can create these days can get attached to your profile, and it builds your brand, gives you more to talk about.
Visibility.
So you could even network with someone, and the value you could provide is, hey, we're both looking for jobs. I can help you with your profile. That's how I started out with my business. Was
interesting.
Helping others with profiles, and just
anybody who asks me for help with a resume, anybody, I'm happy to help.
And you're not giving stuff away. It's not like, why are you telling these people all these secrets? Like, no, I'm not. I'm authentically trying to help somebody for the sake of
I think the
just
authenticity,
doing the right thing, and that circles back.
My
tenfold.
financial guy, who I adore, he's wonderful. He said, oh man. I said, what? He goes, my client just got laid off from a big pharma company. I said, look, have them contact me if they need help networking or with their resume. Please, I'm throwing it out there. He goes, I really appreciate it. I'll let them know. Of course, nobody ever contacts me, but you got to throw it out there.
Right.
Because that's how I give back to society.
Well,
everybody has their own way.
There's so many things that happen that you never hear about. I sold a lot of homes that were never on the market because of networking, of talking to someone who's thinking about selling, and you're able to get that all done.
Or they're
on the spot without.
Or their elderly parent. You're going to hear a lot. I'm sure you hear a lot of this where they've got this big house that they've raised their family in, and now they're 80 and they can't handle it. I mean, there's a lot of that going on too, and that's like an interesting market to tap into.
Yeah, and the thing is, I've always tried to listen more than I talk. So again,
that's good.
I'm not saying someone who's very talkative is a bad thing.
But you learn more when you listen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Active listening.
Active listening.
And caring.
The whole caring thing. I mean,
I know it's like, eat vegetables, brush your teeth, and care about people, right?
It's like an Oprah moment, but it's true. And I think again, like we said, most people want to help. They do.
Right.
And so in terms of networking for job seekers, I know we talked about LinkedIn. Any other ideas anything that you could suggest to folks?
You know what? I don't cast a wide net. Kind of just define your goals or what you want to do, or whether it's a niche. If it's wide, that's okay. But if you just got past the bar exam, and like what you want to do is just where do the people that I want to be or would like to meet someday, where do they hang out?
Great.
And look and just reverse engineer it.
Great idea.
Facebook groups,
And also LinkedIn groups.
LinkedIn groups.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Just like there's so many meetup groups, Facebook groups, LinkedIn. There's a whole world out there.
Stay active. What I used to do on LinkedIn was not just make a comment and like thumbs up and this and that, but when you connect with someone, take it offline. If they're local, hey, you want to grab coffee? I always would.
That's a really good idea.
I met a lot of authors. I'm like, I can't believe I'm meeting this author, but they're just regular people.
Really?
And all I had to do was
all you had to do is ask in a
all I had to
nice
do
way,
was ask, like,
respectfully.
and who doesn't want to talk about what they do?
Themselves.
That so
Yes.
I don't want to say you play up to that, but it makes it very, very easy that Mr. Author or Mr. Person that I'd like to get to know, can we grab coffee? I just want to learn a little bit about what you do and see and maybe see how we can help each other. And you don't. They're not going to say how are you going to help me. Just the offer you're putting out there is authentic
I think people
enough.
appreciate that. And also, when you're on LinkedIn, let's say I was interested in getting a job at Raytheon.
Mm-hmm.
A job seeker has a good network built on LinkedIn. They could find that hiring manager at Raytheon and reach out directly.
Right.
Circumvent HR completely. And I know this because I was in HR for years.
Right. I can only imagine how difficult it is to get a
resume,
whether it's
or
electronic or a piece of paper resume found, pulled out, and be like, this is the person we want.
You go directly to the source. In other words, the hiring manager is the person who makes the decision to hire.
And they're going to be impressed by that too.
They're going to be impressed by the ingenuity
your
and the
tenacity, or your creativity of. And again, you're not trying to trick anyone. It's just.
You know what? It's smart. And I have job openings right now.
And it's safe.
I have job openings, and I always put my email and my phone. Guess how many emails and phone calls? Guess how many phone calls? None. Emails, yeah. Phone calls, people are afraid to pick up the telephone.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I think generally, like even myself, like cold calling, you don't want to, I'm going to call 100 people today. It's the last thing you want to do, but there's nothing, first, nothing better than meeting face to face.
Absolutely.
Because you over the phone, and the second is phone connection,
or a video.
Video, right? Talking on the phone, having that connection. But your tonality and the words you use are on the phone, but your body language is like 70%. Or your energy is like 70% of who you are.
Communication, they say 70% is nonverbal.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness.
So like a text message, like you can read it 10 different ways. If you're in a bad mood, like I'm looking for a job, like I'm looking for a job. Like again, you can. Does that make sense?
No, I mean we were brought up on the phone. I mean, when I was growing up, there was no text, email.
Right.
Everything was phone or in person.
Mm-hmm.
Now the generation coming up, it's all text and email. I'm like, my God, don't you guys ever communicate like in person on the phone? I mean, and they don't sometimes.
I tell you, I work with a lot of young people that the ones that talk on the phone and make real connections are very successful, and it's not that hard.
No, well, we were brought up on phones.
Yeah.
I mean, the phone was like the big deal.
But I guess just don't take advantage.
Generationally, it's very different.
Yeah, you just don't want to forget that. I mean, texting is great, and how we communicate is incredible.
But texting, like if you want to just sort of send a quick note to somebody, it's like, hey, your house got an offer. I just wanted to let you know, call me.
There's nothing better than I'll make phone calls to past clients that I just wanted to say hello and happy house of, 1 year anniversary.
And say how you're doing.
And not be like, hey, you want to sell your house? Never.
But they will say, hey, by the way, my nephew wants to buy a home,
right?
Or my nephew wants to sell, or whatever it is.
Yeah. I can't count how many times that because of just by being present, or whether I might send some direct mail or some like Patriot calendars or things like that.
Oh,
but having that connection is
just
so
having a
important.
Connection or just calling to say hey is a biggie.
Right.
Where are some good places for job seekers to network? Any ideas? I mean, the gym used to be good until people walked in with their headphones and their little whatevers. For me, it was softball leagues, bowling leagues, poker leagues, any place where there's a lot of people. Meetups. You could still, do the gym, I guess, but any place where you're going to find people. Church, that's a biggie. People still go to church. A lot of people.
Right.
I tell them, people with children, talk to your children's friends' parents, because chances are they're employed.
Well, that's the thing. Without overdoing it, because I work with some some young moms with their kids, and they're doing the sports things. And my kids are older now, and I'm like, and I think of it like, wow, what a great networking opportunity to go to a basketball game or a soccer game. And again, not wear
Hundreds of
like
people,
not wear like an advertisement or something, but just to meet people and talk to them.
It's
and
going to
just
come out organically.
you just be natural without
don't
being
ask
like
for anything. Just whatever you want, I think is going to come out eventually in conversation,
Right.
right? In a normal way.
right. And it's all energy, because some folks might just be like, no, I want to just stay to myself. But
That's okay. Read the body language, though. If they
Right,
want to stay to
right.
themselves, they'll stay to themselves.
And you learn
don't
that, and
bother
that's how practice helps. Over time, you can kind of read someone's body language of like, no, I'm not interested. I don't want to really do anything. Or someone's just, you get that more welcome feeling.
It's very
And
easy to tell.
You don't take advantage of it, but it's
No,
just,
you know
it opens the door, it opens opportunities.
It's easy to tell, too.
Right.
I mean, if somebody doesn't want to be bothered, they'll be on their phone and they won't look up and they won't look to the left, they won't look to the right.
Well,
But,
yeah,
So believe it
that's
or
the easy
not,
part.
she just gave me the 5-minute. So we have like 3 more minutes.
Okay.
Anything you'd like to add about networking? Anything that you feel would help all those folks watching who are looking for a job, want to do a job change, or what have you?
Well, you asked,
I think consistency.
Bowling league, this and that. Like, I don't think there's like one specific thing. I just, because I struggle with this myself too, because I want to network. I want to network more. I'm like, I'll do pickleball or this,
Pickleball.
which I tried once. But
my friend got a black eye from the pickleball, and she's like, "Oh, you got to try it." And I saw the big shiner. I'm like, "I'm not
the
trying
next day, but the day after that,
I don't know what the
couldn't
big
move.
deal is with that, but I don't know. But it's fun, I guess.
I think it's just know what you like to do. Just
and do it.
Yeah, whether it's sports or bowling or Press Cafe or Panera Bread.
And walking or hiking groups where people are walking and hiking and they're talking as they're walking.
Right.
That's good. I mean, just socialize.
Just the opportunity just to be around people, and again, and talk. And if someone doesn't want to hear about what you're saying, you're going to know it.
And it's okay.
You're going to feel it, and it's totally okay.
And don't be put off. Don't be insulted.
Right. I guess that's the one thing. Maybe I
don't
really,
be discouraged.
Don't be discouraged, and don't ever take it personal.
Anytime you get a job rejection, I'm going to say this to camera, and I'm going to say it to you. It is not personal. Everybody's going through it today.
I learned that the hard way.
I
learned that the old-fashioned way.
Really hard. It's hard advice to take. Do not take it personal, ever. If that's the last thing I could say in this
the best thing to do is if
keep going.
Something doesn't go right, whether you lose a sale or you don't get that promotion or you don't get that job, you can just ask yourself, is there anything else I could have done differently versus, wow, they're jerks, or
I'm
learn
so
discouraged. Just
and
it's a learning. It's hard. It's a life.
It's a life lesson. But
it's a life lesson.
Managing expectations too is like we talked about in the beginning. Managing expectations, you can't go too far out this way or that way. Kind of stay neutral in the middle.
Right.
Don't go too crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
So and that's different for everybody. But if you have a particular industry, just want to focus on the people that you want to meet. And
that's a good idea.
When you start surrounding yourself with people who are smarter, more educated, and greater, and this and that,
and who are doing what you want to do,
that starts to become part of you, and you start adding value to their conversations.
Absolutely.
And it's not just 5 people. I think you just continue that kind of networking personality.
In the job search world, a lot of it is
in your own without making yourself uncomfortable.
You could be a little bit uncomfortable and get out of your comfort zone. And a little discomfort is to be expected,
right.
But that's okay. It doesn't have to be like it's not going to kill you.
No,
it won't. You'll be able to talk about it the next day.
Right.
But
it'll feel good.
The job market right now, election is over. We've got somebody new in the White House. It's getting better.
It's mindset.
There's lots of interesting things going on out there.
I know to be discouraged is easy. To be down is easy. What's hard is
staying up.
Is staying up, and you got to just wake up. I always wake up every day, even if yesterday was not a good day or a big loss or nothing happened.
It happens.
I treat it
It's called
like a
life.
game. Like, all right, we didn't win the game last night. Today's a new day, and you got to just start
It's hard.
each day
From
with that.
from
with
your
that mindset.
standpoint, very similar to a job seeker. I mean, they're waking up and I'm like, oh man, I got all this time to
Oh,
kill.
I wake up every day unemployed, basically, if you think about it.
You know
So
what?
I
It's a big chunk of time.
right.
And like when you're employed 9 to 5, I mean, you're on a schedule. You have, things you need to do in a certain amount of time. When you're in your own business, you are.
Mhm.
Holy cow,
Well, yeah. So that's why I live what I do, and it just becomes part
do
of
you
who I
enjoy it?
am. I love it. Absolutely love it.
1 minute warning. I'm going to say thank you very much. I'm going to give you a website one more time and my website for my business as well. Remarkable. Realestateh.com is Mark Lynch's website. Mine is therighthireus.com. I want to thank you again.
Thank you
It was
very
a
much for the
great
invitation.
show. It was awesome. And thank you all for watching The Right Job Show. Next month in March, I'm going to be having a career coach. And thanks again.